Hey guys, my name's Jim, and welcome to the channel. Uh, I want to talk really in this channel to mainly 45 to 65-year-olds. And the reason is we're all doing well in life, right? We've either finishing raising kids, generally speaking, or have raised kids. We've got a career, we've got usually a good income. Most of us have a pretty solid income, but we don't always have what it takes to get ready for retirement. And we're not quite where we want to be financially, right? We may be working on our fitness, we may be working on everything, but we just need the step up, the leg up. And that's who this is meant for. And here's where it comes from. It comes from a place of, look, I've been in the mortgage business 23 years now, which is great. And it's a great business. But I meet so many people over the years, so many people who sit across the desk from me, and we're talking about goals and dreams and aspirations with this mortgage, with this home. And it's almost invariably the same comment. Well, I'm almost 50. I mean, this is definitely going to be our last home, and we're on the downswing. And I get it. Maybe it is the last home. Nothing wrong with that. But it's the attitude that has always kind of grated on me a little bit. Well, I'm almost 50. I'm not going anywhere now. I mean, retirement's around the corner. And look, let's face it, when most people retire, if they have enough money to retire comfortably, they don't do much. They're kind of a little bit bored. The ones who succeed in retirement are great. They're still doing things. They're active. They're learning. They're accomplishing more and more, right? That's what I want for you. But to do that, we've got to be economically ready. And a lot of us, frankly, aren't. And it's not hard to get there. It's really not. It just takes different actions and different attitudes and whatnot. But look, let's take a step back first. So you know what my motivation is in wanting to bring content like this to you is I frankly hate hearing that. Well, we're almost 50, we're on a downswing, you got a lot of life left. First of all, life expectancy. Right now in the United States, life expectancy is just over 79 and a quarter years old. In 25 years, life expectancy keeps on going up, and it'll be 83 and a quarter years. Life expectancy keeps going longer. We're going to live longer, and we don't want to outlive our money nor our health. And part of the reason is we have so many advances in science and medicine and fitness and everything that we're just going to live longer, many of us. No one knows the day nor the hour, right? We might all be done tomorrow, but for most of us, we're going to live longer, and so we got to be ready for that. And part of getting ready is using the assets that we have now to parlay into more assets. I'll talk about that more in a moment. Inflation is the hard part, right? If we were making today's dollars, but we were working in the 70s or 80s, we'd be wealthy. It'd be no problem to save and invest and get ready for retirement and all that, but we're not. And that's because a dollar in 1970 is worth about $7.81 today because of inflation. It's inflated away, right? The dollar keeps being worth less and less. In fact, you may have seen people talking about the death of the dollar, right? We've got so much debt that the dollars can't survive and it's going to die. And then you've got the things that are attacking the dollar, right? Like BRICS. You've got the cryptocurrency the governments are trying to impose right now, etc. So the dollar is proclaimed to be dying. Well, in fact, it is dying, right? First, let's look at the debt. So the debt, total inflation, public and private debt, is around 94 in the US is 94 trillion right now, or just shy of it. Will be probably by the time you watch this. And so $94 trillion in debt. And you can see the chart. It just keeps going up and up and up, and is projected to go even higher, right? The Congressional Budget Office puts out their forecast of government debt, and it's not going down, even by their own projections. So they're usually shy of what it really hits. That means inflation keeps going up. Why is that? Well, because we're in a debt-driven society, right? And largely a consumption society. And so as and you can't stop that. Now, I'd love to be in a production an exchange society, right? Where it's all goods and services that are produced that drive the economy. But we're not there, and we won't be. I'm just being honest. Unless you're going to run for some high government office and are dedicated to changing that, neither you nor I can change that. We can just accept it and work within the parameters that we have, that work with the hand we've been dealt, right? And that hand is more and more debt. And it has to continue to be that. In fact, as the debt matures, it needs to be refinanced. How do you refinance it? We don't have enough income to do so, so we issue more debt. Debt refinances debt and keeps on growing. And we have to do that or the economy would collapse. And the government is not going to let that happen if they can help it. So if that's the case, inflation will keep on going higher, right? It just will. I mean, our wages may or may not keep up with inflation. They certainly haven't up to this point. Again, I hope I'm talking to most of you have an established career and a good, relatively high income. Let's face it, we just do. At this point in life, we have that. And that's a blessing. But then what do we do to really, from this point on, accelerate the preparation for an eventual retirement? Because one day we won't be working this career by choice or by force. We just won't be able to. Something will happen health-wise, or who knows what. I don't want to predict it, but we do need to prepare for that. Again, hopefully it's by choice, right? And we choose to do something else, not nothing, but something else. If you don't believe the dollar is already dying, let me give you just some examples. Since 2020, when quantitative easing, QE, was the latest round of QE was implemented, we've seen home prices go up almost 50%, over 49%. They have gone up. And if you believe the few out there that are saying, well, home prices are going to crash, they're all coming down, you're wrong. And there's a lot I can go into on a future video for that. But look at what home prices have done, and they will continue to go up because the dollar is worth less, and an asset as a percentage of the dollar is worth more and more and more dollars, right? Same with the S&P 500 is up almost 190% since 2020, as well as gold is up almost 59%, well, over 59% actually since 2020. And we can talk about oil, and we can talk about all sorts of hard assets. So what we're watching right now is the death of the dollar. And that's what we have to work with. We can't control it. We can't stop it. I wish we could, but we can't. So what do we do with that? Well, working within that, we say, where do we put our time and effort and funds, limited funds sometimes, so that they grow at a faster pace than inflation is eating away at that dollar? And those, generally speaking, are hard assets. And we'll go into in future videos a lot of different examples, a lot of people who have done this or are doing it currently, and where places to put your money or your time or your assets in order to grow them, and grow them well, grow them past inflation, right? And that's the key, on top of your earned income. So I'm not talking, this channel is not the 20-somethings who are like, leave everything and start the FIRE movement, the financial independence, retire early. This isn't the laptop lifestyle of, move to, I don't know, Zimbabwe or somewhere, wherever you want, Portugal, and work the laptop lifestyle. Now, if you want to do that, certainly can get there eventually. Lots of people do it, but that's not the goal. The goal is to say, keep going. You've built a career, keep building it, keep earning as long as you can earn, but let's shift the focus a little bit of some of your time and effort to build alternative assets. And a lot of those alternative assets are going to be real assets, right? Things that go up in value at or faster than inflation and give off cash flow. So everyone's got their investment thesis. Mine is, I invest in things that give cash flow. Now, you could be speculative and you could be like a VC investor, and that's fine. And hopefully you hit the home run and become a multimillionaire overnight. because one of your investments really took off. But that's not my thesis, and it's not the thesis of the channel. The thesis of this channel is we need added cash flow. Our incomes simply aren't enough. Even a 2-income household, oftentimes it's just not quite enough to get where we want to go. So the real assets that are money producing can be real estate. Obviously, I've been in the mortgage business over 20 years. I like real estate. I think it's a great asset over time. And it can be, and I'll show examples of that. It can be buying a business or starting a business. It can be investing in dividend stocks, right? The dividend kings or princes or whatever you want to call them, or whichever ones you want, but especially dividend paying stocks, equities, or bonds for that matter. Now, bonds are going down a little bit right now because we're seeing the yields are going down because well, obviously rates are going to be going down as the Federal Reserve continues to cut rates. And so there was a heyday for bonds for about 1.5 years, 2 years there, where they paid about 5%, maybe not so much anymore, at least treasury bonds. And there's other things we can do. I really, really like the idea of starting a side business for some people, or investing in options. It's much more active than buying, equities simply and waiting for that dividend to be paid out quarterly. But nonetheless, some people might want to do that. We can talk about that as well. So I hope you follow along and comment and weigh in, because look, it's a joint effort. It's a road we're going down together, right? And so I'd like it to be that. So please do comment, subscribe, leave me a message, and look for the next couple of installments, because I think they'll really resonate with you. At least that's the goal. And hopefully progress each of us along that road to where we want to be and where we know we can be. The good thing is, here's the good thing. I'll leave you with this thought. We're also not the 20-somethings. Nothing wrong with that. We've raised 20-somethings at this point, but most of us. But we have a lot more experience in life, and we have a lot more judgment, and we have a lot more wisdom. And those are assets that we can really put to use right now. I know a lot of people downplay that, and they're like, well, right, but how can I talk to people all the time, and you probably do too. Well, I got downsized from my job and I'm pushing 50. Who's going to hire a 50-year-old? A lot of people, actually. A lot of people would, because you've got a lot of life experience and a lot of wisdom and a lot to offer. But it also means we can do other things with that than we have been doing, economically speaking, up to this point. And that's the point of the channel. So I hope you follow along. I look forward to this journey together as well. And yeah, have a great day.